I'm going to sort of backseat drive here for a second. Ever heard that whole term, Jack Nicholson movie, "You can't handle the truth"? Well, this video is sort of going to be like this. Because the truth is, most people aren't ready for what's coming in this next move in the cryptocurrency markets, and it's going to melt people's faces off. And a lot of the time, it's not in a good way. And I see it now. Owning a financial education company and teaching tens of thousands of people now about cryptocurrency, how to trade it, how to hold it, how to buy it, all that stuff, and watching how humans can't get out of their own way and how it leads to their demise so many times, even though all of the most amazing truth is right in front of them to where they can make stupid amounts of money, and yet they choose not to. And I'm going to talk about altcoin season and some things to expect. I'm going to tell you some stories from my life and what I went through. And again, I turned $10,000 into $1 million in 2017. And I say that yada, yada, yada kind of thing, but it's because it is totally possible during a crypto bull run. But there are people that have lost a ton and got wrecked, and we're going to talk about that. So first off, I couldn't run the sale in Hong Kong while I was there at the Bitcoin show because the internet just was not working with me too well. So down below, Bitcoin 101 and the crypto security course together for a stupid low price of $139. Go check that out. You'll save yourself a lot of time and money. All right, so altcoins. Altcoin season. I'm sure you've all heard of it. Type 1 if you have heard of the term altcoin season. And do me a favor, type 1 and then type a 2 if you've heard about it, but you have never actually been a part of it. Now, a lot of people think that what we experienced back at the turn of this last year from November to February was an altcoin season. It wasn't. It was nowhere near. And the reason why we know this for a fact is because Ethereum had not hit its all-time high yet. Now, Ethereum just tapped, tap, its all-time high, and it pulled back a little bit, which is totally normal. If you've seen Bitcoin, you see Bitcoin runs up, hits an all-time high, and then pops back down a little bit. And then it pops back up. It's like pop goes. Why are these lights on? No wonder my batteries had issues. Jeez, oh ninja. All right, we got to get that fixed. But hey, it's like studio light right now. Look at me. All right, my point being is that, you know, if you would have about a year and a half ago, I said, it's time to dive all your money into crypto, right? Because the Bitcoin ETF had just been created, and now I'm thrown off by the light in my hair. The Bitcoin ETF had been created and allowed by the SEC and the government, and then they went out and they started building up all of these, what's it called? Ways for people in Wall Street to be able to buy Bitcoin. So I said, dive into Bitcoin because it's going to cause a lot of buying pressure and it's going to cause the price of Bitcoin to go up. And that's exactly what happened. The truth is, if you would have just listened back in January of 2024, you'd be up a ton right now. Bitcoin was what, like at $50,000, $60,000 back then? You had made a lot of money. Matter of fact, if you would have bought any crypto and held it from then till now, you would have made a lot of money. And so a lot of people on this channel that were so used to owning real estate and making money, or owning precious metals to make money, they transferred and they moved into crypto. All right. Now that was great. But the problem is a lot of people would get completely wrecked because they let their emotions get the better of them. They buy a crypto, it goes down. And instead of buying it because they understood what it actually did, what its purpose was, and how cool it was, they sold at a loss. It absolutely blows my mind. And that's the one thing that I try and change in every single one of my students. Yet, to no avail, about 10% of them just don't listen. And it's just the truth. You know what's funny? Owning an education company, I actually get to see when very, very rarely people call and complain, oh, I got wrecked in this thing. I get to go watch what lessons they've seen. Or, hey, I got scammed. And, you know, your course didn't help. Actually, I've never had anyone say that. But they've talked about being scammed. And I said, are you a student of this course? Oh, yes. And I go back. And Dylan goes back and emails him back. It's weird. You haven't taken any of these lessons. All of those lessons covered exactly why you are where you are now. Yet people get completely wrecked. And this is what's about to happen. Millions of people around the world are about to buy crypto for the very first time. And you know why? Because there are going to be news headlines in the near future where altcoin season has begun and people are making melt your face off gains. Let me tell you an example. In 2017, I was not prepared for what was coming. I bought some XRP at 2 cents. I bought a handful of ICOs. Actually, I bought like 45 ICOs. And I learned how to go from ICO to ICO in this special little range of excitement where humans would get super excited. It's a shiny lure and they got to go out and buy it, right? It's like the brand new car or the brand new whatever from Gucci. I got to go get it. And so I would buy early and sell to the masses, and then I go buy the next shiny thing, and I get made fun of like, oh, you're crazy because you should be buying this. And I go buy that, and then I go sell to the masses again. I did it like 45 times, made a ton of money. Well, what's about to hit the news is something that's going to blow your mind, because Ethereum back then was, it was topping at, I don't know, $450 to $850. Now you got Ethereum that just popped into its all-time high range. It popped back down. It acquired its target, popped back down to go underneath the radar, and it's about to explode again. And it's going to go much higher than its last all-time high. And what that's going to do is then it's going to start to slow down, and money will transfer from there into altcoins. And altcoins will go up in ways that will make you, if you didn't live through the .com phase or that era, .com stock era, you need to go and do some studying on it, because what happens is people, out of irrational exuberance and fear of missing out, they keep bidding up stocks or cryptos, and they make great. I'll give you an example. JDS Uniphase came out at like $2 when it was debuted on the NASDAQ stock exchange back in, I want to say 1996. By the year 2000, 2001, it was $800, right? It's a big deal, because what happens is these things steadily go up. And because so many people, it takes a while for you to hear about it. You heard about it from your barber, or you heard about it from your teacher, or all this stuff. And then after like the 5th or 6th time, you go, finally, I'm going to go buy some of this because everyone's making money. And it's that long time delay where it seems to most humans where it's just going to keep going up. It's never going to stop. But it does stop. And people are going to get absolutely wrecked. That's why you have to be pulling money out. Guys, yes or no? If you've been investing in crypto since I started telling you in January, and I said, hey, make sure to take profits, and taking profits is selling. Type yes or no if you've been doing that. The reason why I ask that is because you have no idea how many people are scared to death to pay taxes. Let me destroy everybody's fears right now in one sentence. When you make $1 of profit and you claim it and you sell it, right? Let's say you buy a crypto for $1, it goes up to $2. So you made $1 in profit. You take that dollar, you tell the IRS, and they go, okay, your tax rate is at if you sold it under a year, you're going to pay ordinary income rate. So if you're in the 15, 20%, even if you're up in the 38% tax bracket, let's say you're the richest person in the country and you pay 38%. I know what this is like. It's okay. I pay 38% on my gains. Now, to a lot of people, they melt down because they're the glasses half full kind of guys. Oh my gosh, I'm losing money. Well, hold on, there's still something in here. I'm going to drink it. Oh, it's delicious. The point being is that I get to keep, what's the rest of 38%? Ninja, oh, that's some fast math. Oh gosh. 62? Is that 62%? I think it's 62%. Regardless, I get to keep it. But most people, they're scared to death of paying taxes. Now I get to take what's left and I go invest it again and I go make even more money on that. It compounds and compounds and compounds. Matter of fact, most people don't even know. They're scared to pay taxes, and they don't even know because they think they're buying and selling in their exchange account. They're going to get a big wake-up call next year. And they think, well, I haven't pulled it out into dollars. I'm not going to get taxed. No, that's not how it works. And that's the whole point. And then you get screwed by the tax man because you're going to get audited, and they're going to say, yeah, you owe this tax. But I didn't pull it out into my account. This is what is wrong with people. They don't have financial education. Type 1 hundo, or just 100, it's because I don't even know, how do you spell a hundo? Anyway, point being is that hundo, if you agree, the financial education is the one thing nobody wants to pay for, but everybody needs. It's absolutely insane. All right, so this crypto market that's going to explode, you're going to know it because we've already made it 75% through the cycle. We went from Bitcoin hitting an all-time high, and then coming off of those, then money moving into the major layer ones like Solana, Ethereum, things like that. Now those are about to go into their run, right? And I still position myself into these altcoins because on specific days where these guys are having a good day, like Ethereum's up 5%, these altcoins will move 7 to 15%. Okay. However, on the flip side, when those layer ones like Ethereum and Solana go down 5%, those other days they're bad. Now, I don't go and sell because I know the cycle, but I watch people lose their minds and sell because they're controlled by their emotions. And this is why most people shouldn't be in stocks or crypto. Or they should just learn from pros and just do what they do. That's all I did, is learn from pros. Okay, so it's 75% over because now what we're about to do, as Ethereum blows through its all-time high, right, which it just did, but it's going to do it again. It's going to pop through. It might do it one more time where it hits and comes down and then takes off. Third time's usually the charm. When it does, the amount of pressure building into the altcoin season is immense because all the money that is about to move from Ethereum into alts, especially Ethereum into base, is going to be incredible. And what will happen is it's going to seem like every single day. And if you're a crypto veteran, you guys, it's so true. This is true. And I need people to agree with me. Yes or no? A 1 month run or a 1 month downturn in the altcoin season seems like years. It does. And so with that being, and just check people's answers. Type yes or no if you agree with that. 1 month up or down, or even 2 weeks. 2 weeks in an up or down fashion. It feels like forever. It's been going on forever, right? What happens is people will feel like these are only going to go up, and the news headlines aren't going to make it any easier, right? And I'll be reporting on them, and I'll be telling you the crap from the serious stuff, the real stuff, but they're going to be like, this is a new era, life has changed, millionaires being made, and all this stuff. And people are going to FOMO in, and you're going to watch things that will blow your mind. Like today, I still think Dogecoin is one of the biggest scams out there. It can be printed to infinity. But you know what? Elon Musk says it, and a bunch of idiots run out there and buy it, and that's what happens. It goes up, right? This is what created tulip manias and dot-com bubbles and housing bubbles and all this kind of stuff. And I want you to make crap tons of money from it. But you sell. You take profits. You don't jump into run-ups. You know, I had a gentleman that became a billionaire in the 90s. Told me the other day, he said, he actually calls me Ninja, you, because he was talking about stock price. I'm like, yo, what is the market cap? And he goes, Ninja, stop it with the market cap stuff. You're the only person that thinks of market caps. And I look at him weird, and he goes, you are the only person I know of that is trying to buy percentages of entire networks. You think like that. Rich people think like that. Most people don't think like that. And I said, well, everyone should think like that. And he goes, but that's just not going to happen. And I said, well, I set out to make 1 million people millionaires. So hopefully 1 million people are thinking in terms of market caps. And my point being is that you see these altcoin projects, they're named wrong. They should be called blockchain companies because people don't understand. They think they're all cryptocurrencies. They're all cryptos. They're not. Right? You have companies with real world, they're solving real world problems using a public decentralized ledger to track and trace it, transactions. It's a freaking game changer. No longer can you have companies lying about their 10Qs or 10Ks. That's a big deal. And what they're doing is they're changing the way the game is recorded. All right. And in a day where these companies that have amazing teams with people that have so much accomplishments and a market cap's like $40 million next to something that is called fart coin. Think about this. Dude, type 5 if you agree that people sort of lose their minds when something like Pokemon Go comes out. My fire chief, which shouldn't have been a fire chief ever. He one day, he would be that guy. There's always that guy. He's going to be watching this channel, but you got to look yourself in the mirror. The guy that promoted ahead of everybody and that shouldn't have promoted, but either he was the only one that applied or he was in a position where, he liked to push his authority on other people. He wasn't a leader at all. I would always tell you all the things you're doing wrong. And then we catch him out there running around our response zone in his command truck with a cell phone trying to get Pokemon Goes. Adults can lose their minds, all right? So what are you going to do about this? We all know it happens. Take advantage of it. Buy these projects now before they're freaking going up, and then sell it to the idiots. Now, that might sound really harsh. Type Y or N. Does that sound harsh? I want to be able to look back. Does it sound harsh? Or is it the truth? That is the truth. I made a ton of money in real estate, and I was told left and right in 2000, 2001, you're going to lose it all. You're not going to be happy to lose it all. Real estate's not going up like you think it is. You're wasting your time. And then I sold all my homes to those people when they're all losing their minds. Oh, gotta buy a house. Yeah, houses are going away because the news media said it. That's what you do. You buy things and get made fun of by the idiots, and then you turn around and sell it to the idiots when they finally figured out, oh, I should buy this. Oh, it's too late. Oh, I should buy it. You're crazy that you're selling it. Anyway, I hope you got something out of this. If you guys want to learn how to buy crypto safely and not get hacked, and how to move it around and learn all the basics, it's incredible. Best deal you'll ever see. The link's down below. Bitcoin 101 course and the security course bundled together for $130. You seriously cannot beat that. It's stupid. I'm about to raise my prices on some other courses that are going to really like the Karens and Kens of the worlds are going to lose their minds when it goes to what is it now going to 5 figures for a course. That's where I'm at, because that's the truth. And you know what's crazy? I'm going to sell a ton of them because I'm going to sell them to my current students because they know the value. Whew, this is crazy. I never would have thought. And I'm going to be honest with you. I was told left and right by people in the industry that owned financial companies. They say, you're doing it wrong, Ninja. Do not sell low ticket items because you're going to get the worst students. I'm like, oh, I want to help the people. I want to help. And boy, were they right. But the cool thing is I did help a lot of people with a low ticket item that for the first time ever started to believe in themselves and doing something different. And now they got lots of money, and now they're going to be a customer for life. So that'll be cool. But it's true. It is true. Poor mindset people, man, there's a reason why they're poor. All right, that being said, the Economic Ninja is out. Now, the phone's really far away, so I got to go turn it off now. Awkward moment. It's what happens when we're live. I'm still here. I never left. Bye.